In this video, we're going to talk about some of the properties of logarithms. So if you remember with the rules of exponents, we have some properties like the following. So let's remember. So the rules of exponents. So for example, if I have, say, x squared times x to the sixth, right? So the rule here is that when you multiply two things like this, the exponents add, right? So this is the same thing as x to the 2 plus 6 power, and 2 plus 6 is 8. Right? So the exponents combine by adding. So we have similar properties for logarithms, right? So the counterpart for logs, so this is the sum rule, kind of like this. So you have to be careful where the operations occur, right? So when we apply the rule, we can apply the rule in both ways, right? So you can either expand a single log into separate logs, or you can take separate logs and combine it into a single log. Okay, so when expanding, you should look at the operations in the following way, right? So if you have a single log where the operation is multiplication inside that log, then you can expand it into separate logs where now the operation becomes addition. And then in the reverse way, you can combine the sum of two separate logs into a single log where the operation changes to multiplication. So again, the main point here is to understand how the operation changes between multiplication and addition. Okay, so be careful when using the sum rule because it's very easy to mistake how it applies, right? So the operation again needs to be multiplication inside the log, and it changes to addition outside the log. So in a case like this, where you have addition inside the log, right? So you see how it's different from the sum rule. And so in this case, you're not allowed to do anything. You cannot separate the log here. And then similarly, when you have multiplication outside, right? So this is not the same as this. And so you cannot, again, you can't do anything when it's written like this. Okay. So in this example that we have down here, the example is already worked out, but let's look how it works, right? So we're asked to expand the single log, right? So we see we have a single log where the operation is multiplication inside, which is exactly what we want to apply the sum rule. And so we're allowed to expand this. And how does this expand? So there's two factors, so we get two separate logs with the same base. So same base. So two separate logs with the same base. The operation becomes addition. And what goes with each separate log is the individual factors that have been separated, right? So the x plus 3 goes with the first one, and the x minus 7 goes with the second one. Okay, so that's how we separate the logs. And we can also apply the sum rule in the reverse way, right? So we have separate logs. You have three separate natural logs. Right, so and then I can combine it into a single natural log. And how does the operation combine? Right, so we have the sum of separate logs becomes multiplication of each of the three parts, right? So the 3 times x squared times y. So when it combines to a single log, the operation becomes multiplication.